Don't do anyone any favors sounds like an unethical piece of advice that many of us hold dear, since in some situations, helping others can cause more harm than good for both you and them. In this video, we'll uncover 10 surprising truths about how and why your desire to help can lead to unexpected consequences. This approach doesn't encourage selfishness or hinder genuine kindness. Rather, it suggests a stoic way where compassion is paired with wisdom and empathy is combined with self-understanding. Let's dive into that. Let's challenge our biases and learn to recognize when our help is genuinely beneficial and when it might actually hinder both our personal growth and that of others. First, the Martyr Syndrome. Have you ever noticed yourself prioritizing other people's needs over your own? If so, you might be familiar with what psychologists call the Martyr Syndrome. This happens when someone puts the well-being of others first, often at the expense of their own mental and emotional health, and it can be a slippery slope. The path we take can lead to a lot of negative consequences. Constantly neglecting our own needs to help others can really mess with our mental health. We risk draining our emotional reserves. As Epictetus taught, we should focus on what we can control and remember that our own mindset can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. Just imagine juggling the needs of friends, colleagues, and family all the time. Neglecting self-care over time can really mess with your sense of well-being and lead to emotional burnout. Trying to always be the hero for others can leave you feeling resentful towards those you help and even towards yourself. It's basically the Martyr Syndrome. It's a double-edged sword. While it might earn you praise and admiration from others, it often comes at the cost of your own mental and emotional health. We often have to sacrifice our own well-being for others. Remember the Stoics, keeping your inner peace and balance is key. It's totally okay to put yourself first sometimes. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. Second, dependency issues. Have you ever noticed that the more you help someone, the more they rely on you? This highlights an important aspect of helping others, the potential for dependency problems. While your help might be well-intentioned, it can unintentionally foster a sense of reliance. Dependencies in those we're trying to help can ultimately hold them back from growing and becoming self-sufficient. From a Stoic perspective, dependency can develop when someone gets used to receiving help, even with the smallest tasks. Over time, they might start relying on others to solve their problems or meet their needs, instead of building the skills and resilience to handle things on their own. This kind of behavior can be especially harmful in situations where a person is actually capable of managing things themselves. He can handle problems on his own, but prefers not to, thanks to the support he gets from outside. Real-life examples show how dependency can form through too much help. Let's look at a situation with a parent who tries to save their kid from little setbacks like forgetting homework or having arguments with friends. Even though the parents mean well and want to protect their child from difficulties, they unintentionally take away the chance for the kid to learn from their mistakes and develop problem-solving skills. In a professional environment, when leaders micromanage their employees' every move, they can unintentionally stifle creativity and initiative. This leads to employees becoming overly reliant on instructions and losing their sense of responsibility for their work. Ultimately, this dependency can create a cycle of learned helplessness, where a person feels they can't overcome challenges without outside help. It's important to find a balance between providing support and allowing independence. Support and encouragement of independence, as taught by Stoic Seneca, is the foundation of human happiness. True strength lies in giving others the tools and confidence to overcome life's challenges on their own. Third, emotional leaks. Compassionate attention and support during tough times are important. However, while this act of compassion is certainly commendable, it's crucial to recognize that it can lead to emotional exhaustion when we absorb others' problems and traumas. By setting proper boundaries, we open ourselves up to a deep emotional impact that can affect our well-being. Imagine constantly taking on other people's problems, absorbing their pain and suffering like it's your own. Over time, this emotional labor can become overwhelming, leading to feelings of exhaustion, burnout, and compassion fatigue. Without adequate boundaries, helpers risk becoming emotionally drained, leaving no room for their own needs and self-care. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-control and inner balance. Taking care of yourself and being emotionally resilient are crucial when it comes to helping others. Just like flight attendants tell us to put on our own oxygen masks first before assisting others, it's essential for helpers to prioritize their own well-being. Engaging in activities that recharge and rejuvenate us, whether it's spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or reaching out to friends and family for support, is vital. Maintaining emotional balance is crucial. Developing emotional resilience is key to overcoming the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come with helping others. By building this resilience, helpers can continue to support others without sacrificing their own mental and emotional well-being. In essence, helping others can be incredibly rewarding, but it's important to approach it thoughtfully and with self-reflection, setting boundaries, taking care of oneself, and nurturing emotional strength. Helpers can keep making a positive impact while also taking care of themselves. After all, as Marcus Aurelius taught, inner peace comes from those who look after their own well-being. Fourth, encouraging destructive behavior, like enabling or constantly supporting someone's addiction, can sometimes reinforce negative patterns instead of promoting positive change. Let's consider a situation where a friend is struggling with addiction and you want to be supportive. We can offer him financial help, listen to him, or justify his behavior. It's like when someone gets off easy and doesn't face the natural consequences of their actions. If a person doesn't feel the weight of their choices, they might be less motivated to seek help or make meaningful changes in their life. From a Stoic perspective, balancing support and responsibility is really important. While it's good to help others through tough times, it's equally important to hold them accountable for their actions and encourage them to take responsibility. Taking responsibility for your own well-being, as Epictetus taught, is the first step to freedom. It starts with recognizing your mistakes. You can set clear boundaries, offer constructive feedback, or gently guide others to resources that can help. This balance between support and responsibility allows people to break free from destructive behavior patterns and take charge of their lives. Stoics believe that true help often goes beyond just support and enabling. By challenging and confronting, we create the foundation for real growth and transformation, where a person can take back the right to make their own choices and pave their way into the future. Fifth, lose sight of ourselves. In the noble pursuit of helping others, it's easy to lose sight of ourselves. When we dive deep into the needs and problems of those we're helping, we might find our own identity fading into the background, overshadowed by the role of caregiver, confidant, or savior. Imagine a situation where you're just listening to a friend in crisis. Situations or dedicating countless hours to volunteer work. While these acts of compassion are undoubtedly valuable, they come at a cost, a gradual erosion of our self-identity. Over time, we might find that our role as helpers defines us more than our own interests do. The loss of individuality that can come from helping others highlights the importance of carving out time for activities that bring us joy and fulfillment, reminding us that we are more than just caretakers or assistants. Multifaceted individuals with their own dreams and desires, whether it's drawing or music, recharge their energy. Moreover, setting clear boundaries is crucial for maintaining our self-respect while helping others. By determining when and how we can lend a hand, we create space for our own needs and priorities. This might involve limiting the time we spend helping others or respectfully declining requests for help when we're feeling drained, overwhelmed, and exhausted. Figures like Marcus Aurelius emphasize the importance of self-awareness and personal boundaries. Helping others is definitely a noble pursuit, but it's crucial not to lose ourselves in the process. By maintaining our boundaries and engaging in activities that nourish our own sense of identity, we can continue to support others while remaining authentic and strong. After all, as Marcus Aurelius taught, taking care of our soul is everyone's duty. Only by respecting our own needs can we truly help others. Sixth, financial strain. To really show up for others in a meaningful and consistent way, there's this financial strain that often doesn't get talked about. Helping others might come from a good place, but it can lead to hidden costs beyond just what's in our bank accounts. Imagine a situation where we're always lending money to help out without thinking twice. It's crucial to be aware of the long-term effects of that. The consequences of such generosity over time can actually jeopardize our own financial stability and security in the future. Plus, the constant need to be a financial safety net for others can create a sense of obligation and burden that weighs heavily on us. We might find ourselves sacrificing our own financial goals and aspirations to help those who struggle with their sense of independence and control over their finances. It's like a Stoic philosophy. It emphasizes the importance of managing your resources wisely and setting boundaries. Establishing healthy financial boundaries is crucial for reducing the risk of financial stress when helping others. This might involve setting clear rules about when and how we're willing to offer financial support, as well as being open and firm about those boundaries with everyone involved. It's just as important to learn to say no when we can't or don't want to provide financial help, even if it feels tough at the moment. At times, it might feel awkward or tough to set healthy financial boundaries and learn to say no when we need to. But we can make sure that our desire to help others doesn't come at the cost of our own financial well-being. In the end, true help isn't just about giving money. It's about empowering others to become self-sufficient and resilient in tough times. As Epictetus taught, happiness comes not from accumulating wealth, but from reducing our desires. Sometimes, the simplest things are the most important. A valuable gift we can offer is encouragement and support to help someone get back on their feet. Seventh, disregard for personal needs. It's easy to overlook our own needs when we're focused on helping others, whether it's spending long hours supporting a friend in crisis or constantly putting others' needs before our own. This kind of selflessness can take a toll, making us neglect our own important self-care. Over time, this can leave us feeling drained. We're worn out and burnt out from always being on call, responding to everyone else's needs while neglecting our own physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Putting others' needs above our own can lead us to ignore basic self-care practices like getting enough sleep and eating well. Without these essential self-care elements, we become more vulnerable to stress, illness, and emotional overload. The importance of self-care and maintaining inner balance is key. As Epictetus taught, take care of your mind just as carefully as you do your body. This is really important for keeping a healthy balance. It could be through meditation, journaling, taking walks in nature, or engaging in hobbies that bring you joy and satisfaction. Also, it's crucial to develop compassion for yourself and recognize the importance of your own well-being. Just like we show empathy and understanding to a friend in need, we should be kind to ourselves and be ready to offer that same support. We need to make sure we have the time and space to take care of our own needs. This might mean setting limits on how much time we spend helping others or respectfully saying no to requests for help when we're feeling overwhelmed. By refilling our own reserves, we're better prepared to offer genuine support to others. Helping others is a noble thing, but it's important to remember that we can't pour from an empty cup. When we pour from an empty cup while prioritizing and taking care of ourselves, we can be sure that our desire to help others comes not from exhaustion, but from abundance. This way we can truly show our worth to others. Eighth, impact on personal relationships. This point, constantly helping others, can have a significant impact on personal relationships. This influence might be subtle but deep. Even though our intentions may be rooted in compassion and support, constantly focusing on meeting others' needs can leave little for ourselves. Let's consider a scenario where a partner spends most of their time and energy helping friends or colleagues, which makes their significant other feel neglected and unimportant. Despite all the efforts to support them, this imbalance in attention and priorities can sow seeds of resentment in the relationship. As a result, the relationship can turn transactional rather than based on genuine connection and closeness, leading to feelings of disconnection and isolation. The depth and authenticity of our relationships push the role of caring for or saving someone to the back burner. Stoic philosophy teaches us to maintain balance and moderation in all aspects of life. Strategies for keeping healthy boundaries in relationships are really important to soften the effects of constantly helping others. This could mean setting aside time for quality conversations with loved ones, free from distractions and outside obligations. Open and honest communication about our needs and priorities helps foster growth. Feelings of mutual understanding and respect, along with fostering empathy and compassion in our relationships, help bridge the gap between our desire to help others and our need for meaningful connections. By actively listening to the needs and concerns of our loved ones, we can create a supportive environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Ninth, resentment, bitterness, and compassion. There's delicate danger in the form of resentment, bitterness, and compassion fatigue when it comes to helping others, which can creep in despite our best intentions. Feelings of resentment can slowly take root, especially when our efforts go unrecognized or unappreciated. Imagine you've spent a lot of time and resources helping a friend through a tough time, but your efforts aren't acknowledged or valued. Over time, that sense of resentment in these relationships can grow, particularly towards those we've helped, especially when our help doesn't get a response, whether it's a lack of gratitude, not recognizing what we've done, or not getting support back when we need it. These perceptions can fuel feelings of bitterness and disappointment. Plus, while compassion is a noble quality, it can lead to emotional and physical exhaustion. Compassion fatigue is what happens when you get drained from being around the suffering and trauma of others for a long time. Just think about a healthcare worker who spends long hours taking care of patients, or a social worker who listens to stories of abuse and trauma day in and day out. Constantly feeling for others' pain can really take a toll on your own well-being. Stoic philosophy teaches us to manage our emotions and find inner peace. Healthy ways to cope with feelings of resentment and compassion fatigue are super important for maintaining our own well-being and fostering healthy relationships. One strategy is to practice empathy and try to understand the perspectives and circumstances of those we're upset with, recognizing that their actions might be influenced by their own struggles. Through challenges, we can develop compassion and forgiveness. Lightening the load of resentment by setting clear boundaries and openly communicating our needs can help prevent the buildup of anger and fatigue. By expressing our expectations and limits in relationships, we create a foundation for mutual respect and understanding. Knowing when to prioritize our own needs helps prevent burnout. Cultivating self-compassion allows us to show ourselves the same kindness we offer to others. 10th, unrealistic expectations. Helping others can sometimes lead to unrealistic expectations. There's an unspoken pressure to always be available, whether it's answering messages at any hour or prioritizing others' needs over our own. This kind of expectation can create a cycle of stress and burnout that's hard to break. Imagine a situation where you are expected to drop everything for a friend or family member, and meeting their needs at any moment can trigger our instinct to be helpful. However, the constant pressure to always be available can become overwhelming. It's really important to set realistic boundaries and manage expectations to avoid unrealistic demands. Communicating confidently about our availability and limitations is key. We should establish clear rules about when and how we're willing to offer help, while making sure those boundaries respect our own needs. Understanding our needs and priorities lays the groundwork for healthy and sustainable relationships. Plus, managing expectations takes self-awareness and self-defense, which means recognizing our boundaries and standing up for our own well-being, even if it disappoints others or comes off as selfish. By rethinking what it means to be useful, we can start tackling the unrealistic expectations society places on caregivers and regain control over our lives, embracing a Stoic philosophy. It highlights the importance of maintaining inner balance and personal boundaries. It's crucial to take care of what's beyond your control. It's important to recognize that the desire to always be available and helpful can negatively impact our own well-being. By setting realistic boundaries, managing expectations, and protecting ourselves, we can create a healthier and more sustainable way of helping others who need it. In conclusion, helping others is a noble aspiration, but it's important to be aware of potential pitfalls on the journey, from the risk of burnout to the danger of ignoring warning signs. Helping others requires careful self-reflection and setting healthy boundaries that don't harm our own well-being. Remember, by respecting our own needs and limits, we become better versions of ourselves, both for ourselves and for those we want to help. Let your kindness come from abundance, not depletion. Take care of yourself so you can shine your light on others. See you soon.